is Jalen Rose.
What up, doe?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together with Jalen Jacoby, what is it that we do?
Gotta give them what they want.
Huh?
Gotta give them what they need. Hey!
Welcome to Jalen and Jacoby, Jalen Rose. Last night, there was a good game between the Lakers and the Suns. It was closer than the final score shows, but the Lakers ended up on top because of some good games from LeBron James and AD, as expected, 24 and 19. But your guy, Kuzma, had some big threes in the fourth quarter to give them the victory, like this one right here. They are 8-2, playing well. Are they exceeding your expectations?
No, they're trending in the direction I thought they would, even this early in the season. I promise you, the basketball has kinetic energy.
Explain.
Everybody gets an opportunity to touch it. All of a sudden, everybody feels like they want to master their role. I don't care if it's a player that's not known for scoring. You let them touch the ball, you let them feel involved, and all of a sudden, they're going to set screens, they're going to rebound. That's what I'm seeing with the Lakers. A season high, 33 assists. LeBron James, one of the league leaders in assists, 7 games, 10 plus, dropping dimes. So now all of a sudden, give up a good shot, get a great shot to Kuzma in the corner for that knockdown three. Anthony Davis making three-point shots. So the Lakers continuing to share the ball, I think, is a big-time catalyst to their success along with their stout defense.
I love LeBron James. And that's one of the reasons I love him, because of this energy that you talk about. He shares the ball. He shares the star spotlight in a way that someone like James Harden does not. But you mentioned Anthony Davis. And last time we spoke to Anthony Davis, he was saying that his shoulder hurts. And we were talking about whether or not the Lakers should rest him. And when you watch this game, he was noticeably grimacing and wincing on some plays. He had his ribs looked at, his shoulder looked at. At some point, don't you feel like they're going to shut him down for a few games?
I do. And a couple of things. Anthony Davis is a terrific talent, clearly. But one thing about being in New Orleans and being the guy, it not only took a toll on him emotionally because they could never get to his goals as a team, but it took a toll on him physically as the best player. And so now you hope coming to Los Angeles, when he does miss those games, because he has been a player that's dealt with nagging injuries his entire career. That's why you got LeBron James. That's why you got Kyle Kuzma.
Exactly.
That's why you got JaVale
Not as
McGee.
much as asked of him in Los Angeles as it was in New Orleans.
Yes.
Like he had to be everything there.
It's different when you are the guy versus the guy next to the guy.
Yeah, and he's also got other bigs with him, and he had Boogie Cousins with him for a while, but he's got Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. There's other people that can rim protect, so he doesn't have to do everything on both ends of the floor. Now, there's good news for Lakers. There's also some really good news for the Clippers. Paul George is back. Because you remember when Kawhi and Paul George both signed, you remember the shockwaves that sent through the basketball world at 4 in the morning or whatever?
Correct.
It was too late. But I remember being like, wow, Kawhi and Paul together. I didn't expect it would take 11, 12 games into the season for it to happen. But what does the return of Paul George mean for the Clippers?
Lockdown defense. The ability to switch everything on the perimeter. 2 guys, one was the finals MVP and won the championship in Toronto in Kawhi.
Yep.
The other one in Paul George, who was top 3 in the MVP conversation in Oklahoma City, joined the Clippers as a team that already made the playoffs without them.
Yeah.
It still has Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell balling off the bench, putting up big numbers. Shamet can knock down threes. We know Patrick Beverly can play D. This is now where you get a chance to see who the Clippers really are and who they we all anticipate them being.
And there's so much discussion of duos in the NBA, and what I like to do is evaluate how complementary they are to each other. I feel like if eventually Luka and KP really complement each other well. I feel like LeBron James and AD complement each other the best of any duo. From an X's and O's standpoint, Paul George and Kawhi would be guarding each other most likely if they were on opposite teams. Do you think they'll be redundant? From an XO standpoint, how does this duo work?
So I'm going to give you where they're the most complementary of any of the duos you just mentioned.
I disagree. I'd love to hear this.
You ready for this? The way Luka and KP complement each other, the way LeBron and AD complement each other, and feel free to steal these points, anybody in the media or anybody watching this show. People always anticipate that being offensively. Defensively, these two complement each other more than anybody.
That's fair.
Okay, imagine having either one of these guys always amongst the league leaders in steals. They don't do a lot of gambling. They can guard whoever. And a lot of times when they're up on you, those long arms, Kawhi's big hands, when they get the ball, they're going the other way. So these guys are going to be able to turn defense into offense better than any duo in the league, and it's going to be fascinating to watch.
And one thing that I'm gonna disagree with you, but then also just add to it, like they can't guard whoever. They basically can really guard 2, 3, 4 very well, but you've got Pat Beverly on the team and Montrezl Harrell, who I think will end up finishing games over Zubac. Like that defensively is a very good team.
Switch everything.
It really is.
Switch
And
everything.
you know who's really hard to guard? Trae Young. Trae Young, he has surprised me. What he did last night against the Nuggets was fantastic. He had 42 points and 11 assists. His third straight game, he just went between his legs.
Don't do my guy Will
He just
Barton
went
like
between
that.
his legs, and then he was chirping at everybody.
Oh,
Look at that,
with the
between his legs.
nutmeg.
3 straight games, 30 and 10. He's exceeded my oh God, I could watch that a million times in a row. That's a tough shot too. To gather like that with the momentum, and he was looking at the other team. I love Ice Trae. He's done better than I thought he would. If you expect this from Trae Young.
I can't say I'm surprised. I remember when he came on Get Up and following him in college, I couldn't help but do a parallel between he and Steph Curry. And the only difference between he and Steph Curry, to be honest with you, the guy that's been in a unanimous MVP and a 3-time champion, Trae Young, better playmaker.
Better playmaker. I say he can't finish at the rim the same way Steph can. Steph's really developed that over the course of his year, but
Correct.
He's definitely a better playmaker
So
for his teammates.
if you look at their body types, of course, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to want to compare them. And then all of a sudden you see they both have unlimited range. And then you just did a great distinction. Steph going to the basket, jumping off of both feet, finishing with both hands. Only he and Kyrie are in that category.
Yeah.
And then for Trae, the playmaking 11 assist category, that's going to be amongst the league leaders. That's really impressive for a young player.
So, Jalen, you know what I love about basketball. I love sauce. I love sauce. I love it when you put it between someone's legs. I love the behind-the-back passes. I love embarrassing your defender, and Trae Young does that, and that's what I'll show up for. Like, you show me Kawhi Leonard all day. He's a very effective scorer. He's a great defender. You know what I mean?
You're always hating on the Spurs.
He's efficient. It's like, I get that. But Trae Young has sauce. And in this game, another thing I love, trash talk. He said that he was getting chirped at by the bench. He was getting chirped at by the fans. And when you are in the game, can that backfire? Like, can that end up motivating somebody where they perform better?
It works both ways. It could be water on the flame or gasoline, depending on if the guy get going. And he just struggled in the previous game. And so all of a sudden people start chirping at you and you start feeling good about your game.
Yep.
Those 2 threes become 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 8 of 13 on a roll in a big-time victory, by the way. That's
a good Nuggets team.
Rolled win for the Atlanta Hawks.
And another thing I'm surprised by, when John Collins went down, like, he's an important piece of what they do on both ends of the floor. When he went down, I thought that the Hawks would kind of take a bigger step back than they have. They've done a really good job.
I'm going to keep stressing this. The 11 assists. I always pay attention to primary ball handlers that go north and south that still have the ability to make people around them better.
Yeah.
And he continues to do that, and that's really impressive.
I'll keep stressing this. He's got sauce. I love it. I love it. I'll watch 3 Trae Young games over 10 Kawhi Leonard games. I really would. I really would.
Why?
I really would.
So why has Kawhi become the poster child?
Because he's a basketball robot. You know what I mean? Like, when was the last time he went behind the back? Like, just dribbling. Like, he's a great player, maybe top 3 in the league easily, but he just doesn't give you the highlights.
We know exactly what you mean,
yeah,
sir.
You know what I mean.
From the East Coast, you're like that Rucker Park fluff.
Exactly. It is now time for News That Matters. Jalen, I'm about to show you something disturbing. We should put like a parental advisory on the screen right now. What you are about to see, you are not going to be able to unsee. I'm going to take you down a dark path. I'm warning you ahead of time to prepare yourself emotionally for this. You fly a lot. Have you ever seen something like this? This image right here. This woman is on a plane, and dude behind her with the dirty feet took his shoes and socks off.